Retrieving TRACS messages, class code SS2.4, revised May 2019. TRACS messages are sent to the property by the CA or HUD through the TRACS IMAX system, which is the same system that we transmit files to them through. These can be retrieved through one site from Affordable Processing TRACS, which is the same place where you are sending files. These messages that come into you may be error messages that must be corrected, error messages that may be informational, the status on payment of the voucher, which is very important. We want to make sure that your voucher is being paid. Or it could be a broadcast message to all HUD subsidized properties. So system outages, TRACS update issues, etc. Informational messages require no response, but we still think that it's important that you review these messages to determine what HUD is telling you. In some cases, it may be data that should be reviewed to determine whether or not there is an error. The error isn't obvious. The MAT guide provides a list of errors and messages and can help explain how to address these messages that you're receiving. So to start, go to Administration, Affordable Processing, TRACS, and on the TRACS processing screen, click Inbox. This is going to be just like your email inbox, however, it does not automatically retrieve new messages for you. So to retrieve new messages, you'll click that Retrieve button, and it will ask you for your Secure Systems WAS ID and password, which is what you use to log on to Secure Systems to access EIV and TRACS. So enter that information and click Submit. If there are no new messages, you will see the first screenshot. Oh, the second screenshot, no messages found. If there are new messages, you'll see that first screenshot. So the system will tell you whether or not there's something new for you to review. In some cases, the messages may reorder themselves once they have downloaded, so be sure that you resort that posted column so that the most recent files are at the top. You can then see on the right-hand side the status of those files is unread. So these are all files that have not been reviewed. When you're going through the mailbox, you'll see several message types. An upload to the property with a file name starting with ERR or error is generally a message from TRACS, which may or may not contain errors that require correction. So it's very important that you review these to ensure that any files that require correction are being corrected as soon as possible. Upload to property-final is generally the CA voucher showing what has been approved. Some CAs do not transmit an electronic version of their voucher, and that is okay. However, many have begun to do so, and in some cases they have stopped emailing copies of the voucher because it can be retrieved through our system. The last type of message you may see is a broadcast message, and this is generally a message from HUD or TRACS being sent to all properties that use the system. So this would relate to TRACS outages or system update errors. To view any of these messages, simply click that View button and then Download. This is what you would do for any of the message types, same steps. And in the case, this is the message that was labeled as ERR, that first one in the list, upload to property. And although the file name contained ERR, there are no errors and the message is informational. It's telling us that the voucher has been accepted for payment. So that's great. You should also see the same if you go into TRACS and review your TRACS voucher query. In some cases, the message will contain errors. And I've highlighted to the right what that message is for this particular unit. No unit address found in TRACS, which does happen. There is an easier way to read that error message. And to do so, you'll close that message window, go back to the inbox, and under View, you'll see an option to view the message by unit. This is going to more clearly outline exactly what the message is by unit. you'll see that you can click through the box on the left-hand side, and it gives you the error on the right-hand side for each of those units and the certifications. So if you have any issues with TRACS errors, you can contact your CA, your Senior Manager or Compliance Analyst, for assistance in reconciling these. In the example here, all of those message types are informational. None of these are fatal errors. So it would be a matter of going through each and ensuring that there is no correction needed. Now in the file called upload to property-final, when you download that message, it's going to look like this screenshot here, which is very difficult to read. And it would be very difficult to reconcile your HAP using this message. So what you can do is close that window, go back to your inbox, and under the view options, you will now see view CA voucher. And what this does is it populates the CA data back into the HUD voucher format that you're familiar with. And this makes it much easier to reconcile. Any differences between what was submitted and what was approved by the CA or HUD is going to have a nice asterisk next to it, so it is much easier for you to identify any differences between what was requested and what was approved. Another benefit is that once you've downloaded the CA voucher, it will also be available to view from the HAP requests area under History View. So going to the HAP requests under History, if you select View next to that voucher, you'll now see a View CA voucher link. This makes it much easier when you go to post your voucher because it's right there on the same screen. Now, HUD broadcast messages are general information for all properties. So in the below example, there is a redirect on the TRACS email box where issues can be reported. So be sure that you're reviewing these broadcast messages regularly to keep updated with TRACS news and ensure that you continue to be able to contact TRACS and send your TRACS data accordingly.